Okay, so recently I've been getting a lot of messages from people asking me about the quote-unquote new Metanium. So in this video I'm going to, I guess, do a little breakdown or somewhat of a buyer's guide of all the Metaniums currently for sale, and also I'm going to, I guess, give you guys my theory on as to why we haven't seen a new Metanium DC yet. So let us begin. Alright, so right now currently, technically we have a total of 5 different Shimano Metaniums for sale at the same time. So the oldest Metanium is the current Metanium DC, which is still sporting the old Metanium body, the long and low one that originally came out back in 2013. So that reel is separate from all the others that I'm going to explain. And this is the Metanium I'm talking about right here. So it's got the old frame that is still one of the more comfortable palming frames for a bigger reel ever made, in my opinion. But all the other Metaniums for sale today currently are sporting a different frame and body. So we're going to talk about this one a little bit later, but this is the reel that has the DC brakes. So we're here at Digitaka, and you can see under Metanium we have a total of 4 listed, including the DC. So we have the Metanium 100, which says new. We have the Metanium, and then we have the Metanium Shallow Edition. Alright, so back in 2020, this reel right here, the Metanium, came out, and I actually have done quite a few videos on this if you want to go back through my video history. But this reel is different than the Metanium B that came out in America for the American market, which, where is it at? Right here, Metanium MGL 150B. So notice the 150 designation. So the difference between this reel and the JDM model, or the Japanese domestic market version, is that this reel has a 70 capacity spool in Shimano speak, while I guess the Metanium B has a 150 capacity spool in Shimano speak. Other than that, they were exactly the same. They share the same frame, same bearing count, same brake system, same core solid frame and body, same weight, same gear ratios. So in 2020, technically 2 Metaniums came out, the MGL 150B for the North American market and probably others, and then over in Japan they came out with the, I guess, regular Metanium MGL, which was a 70 capacity spool. So the difference in line capacity is that the American market 150 holds 110 yards of 12-pound mono, while the Japanese market its capacity for 12-pound mono is only 100 yards. So about 10 yards less, or 30 feet. So in 2020, 2 Metaniums came out, the Japanese version and the American version, and the only difference was that the American version had a deeper spool that held more line. Alright, so I think it was 2022 when the 3rd Metanium came out. And that is the bright silver one here, the Shallow Edition. Alright, so you can definitely see the shallower spool. It says Shallow Edition. So basically you take the same frame and body painted bright silver, but you stick in the ULTIMA shallow spool that also came out in 2020, and you could purchase it separately if you want. I'm going to show you exactly right here. So this is Shimano Japan's website. So ULTIMA Metanium shallow spool, and basically all Shimano did was take this factory aftermarket spool that was already available, repainted the current Metanium, and put this spool in there, and that is it. So the Metanium shallow spool, it boasts a what they call 30 capacity spool, and it's actually 10 grams lighter than the other Metaniums that came out in 2020 according to this. So it's a little bit lighter, but that is due to the aluminum gear that they put in it versus brass for the other Metaniums. Alright, so basically the capacity for this reel, line wise, is only 65 yards of 12-pound line, so considerably less than the 70 and the 150 capacity spools of the normal JDM Metanium and the, of course, North American market Metanium B 150. So personally, I don't think this is quite bait finesse, but it's definitely not made for long bombing techniques, probably pitching and flipping weightless plastics around cover, or I guess big jigs if you are just pitching them and not bombing them out there. So this came out, I believe, in 2022. So in 2022 we had a total of 4 Metaniums available for sale simultaneously, including the DC. Alright, so let's talk about this new Metanium 100s. How it says new. So this is the reel that everyone is confusing as to be an all new reel, and they keep asking me about it. So this reel is basically the same reel that came out in 2020, but they just gave it in Japan what they call a 100 capacity spool. So see how it says update? So this is the same frame, same body. Looks like it's gonna have the same color, the dark gray, but now they gave it a deeper spool that they call 100 capacity over in Japan. So if you take a look at the specs of how much line the spool holds for the 100 right here, 12-pound mono, it holds 120 yards. So that's kind of strange. It actually seems to hold 10 yards more line than the American market 150. So I'm not sure how accurate this is, but this kind of tells you that these numbers generally mean different things in different markets. So if you ordered yourself a new Metanium back in 2020 from Japan, you probably realize that the reel casts so good that you can literally cast all the line off in a lot of applications like frogging or whatnot. So Shimano resolved that by coming out with the 100 that seems to hold 20 yards more line than the original 70 that came out in 2020. And it seems to hold more line than even the American market MGL 150B, which is kind of strange. But yeah, there we go. And the reason once again that Shimano did this is because if you watch the cast battle between the Metanium, the ZILLION 1000, and the 22 Bantam that I did a few months ago, the Metanium came in last, not because it didn't cast as far as the others. It came in last because it casted all the line off, and that was using, I think, 40-pound braid, so not very thick braid at all. But yeah, that's pretty much what the new Metanium is. It's just a deeper spooled version of all the others that holds a little bit more line. Now, if you have a current 2020 Metanium and you don't want to spend the money to get, you know, the 100 or the 30 or the 150 quote unquote in North America, you can just buy the spools and they'll fit right in, because these are all using the same frame and body. So I hope that clears it up for you guys who thought that there was a brand new Metanium that came out this year. Technically, I guess, yes, there was a new Metanium, but it's basically the same reel as the others, with the exception of the DC. And now we're going to talk about my opinion on why Shimano has held off for so long on giving us a new Metanium DC. So this reel came out in 2015, so it's going on like 8 years old. Now don't get me wrong, it's still one of the top performing reels out there, but you know, a lot of people want the latest and greatest, and in my opinion, I think Shimano was working on a new Metanium DC, and they're probably going to just do their lazy transfer of the IDC5 brake system into the new frame. But DAIWA and now KASTKING has come out with their own electronic quote-unquote DC reels, with the IMZ limit breaker from DAIWA and then the new iReels from KASTKING that have like Bluetooth capabilities that you use with a fishing app. Now personally, I don't think those fishing apps are going to be that useful for someone like me, but I think Shimano may have seen that, or known at least that DAIWA was coming out with a new electronic reel their own that will be used with a fishing app, and maybe they kind of realize they can't just do the same old of just transferring the same brakes into a new body. They're gonna have to come out with something better, and probably more than likely something that connects to a Shimano fishing app. Now, I don't have any kind of contacts or insider information coming from Japan. This is all just my theory, but yeah, I think the release of the IMZ limit breaker and then KASTKING's iReels have finally pushed Shimano in the right direction on improving their DC technology. So let me know what you guys think in the comments section. You think Shimano is cooking up a new version of DC that uses an app? And also let me know if this breakdown helps you guys out when trying to figure out all these Metaniums that are out there for sale. Alright guys, thanks a lot.